Hey everyone, Kevin from Robertson's Power and Sports. As some of you may know, we just went out to Lake George to try out the all-new Sea-Doo switch. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link to it right up here at the top of the screen so you can check that out. I want to take a second to thank BRP and our BRP reps, Dan and Jamie, for giving us the opportunity to head out to Lake George and try these things, get our hands on them, touch them, feel them, and be able to have a hands-on experience with these things. That way there we can have a good conversation with the customer when they have the questions about them. Unfortunately, there's not many of these things out in the field for the customers to see, and I know it's frustrating that when you're going to spend a lot of money on one of these things that you want to see it, and we understand. And one of the reasons why we go do these demo events is to be able to answer the questions that you may have and give you an unbiased, truthful opinion of what we think these things are, and maybe what some things we may not like about them. So just wanted to give you some of my final thoughts and takes after having a chance to get out there and drive them, and had a few days to talk to the people that were out there with me, and we kind of put our thoughts together and wanted to share that stuff with you. So for those of you that don't know, the Sea-Doo Switch Pontoon, you're going to be able to get that in the 13-foot, a 16-foot, or a 19-foot. And then also, depending on the model you go with, whether you go with a sport or a cruise, those come standard with the platform, the swim platform on the back, so it does add 2 feet of overall length to the boat. So the 16-foot does become an 18-foot, and the 19-foot becomes a 21-foot. As of right now, the 13-footers, you cannot put a swim platform on the 13-footer, okay? So get right into it. We had the opportunity to ride in a 13-foot sport, an 18-foot sport, and a 21-foot cruise, okay? The 21-foot cruise and the 18-foot sport, those both had the 230 horsepower motors in them, and the 13-foot sport, that had the 170 motor in it. We'll start with the 13-footer. That boat there, even though it's a 13-foot boat, it does give you a lot of room inside, considering you're going to be able to put 3-4 people in there very comfortably. You're not going to feel like you're right on top of each other. I did like that aspect of the boat. Man, is it fun. It handles, it corners. You'd be surprised how well this thing handles and maneuvers. It reminds us just like a Sea-Doo as far as its handling goes. So for the person that's looking for more of a fun boat, not something that you're just going to go out and cruise and relax and spend the whole day out on, but more of a fun factor. You can bring a little bit more people than you can on a Sea-Doo. I think you should look at that 13-footer. You won't be disappointed with it, especially on some of the smaller lakes. I will say, when we were out on Lake George, we had 2 to 3 foot swells, and the guys got bounced around a little bit in that 13-footer and may have caught it coming out of the water a couple times, but overall it looked really, really fun. Moving along to the 18-foot sport, that had the 230 horsepower motor in it. Again, a very, very nimble boat. Gives you a little bit more room inside, a little bit more seating capacity as well. I will say that boat there handled very well. They did say that, believe it or not, top speed on that boat, the 18-footer with the 230 in it with one person in it, was 53 miles an hour. I know a lot of the specs online are going to say 45, 46 mile an hour top speed. Keep in mind that's depending on the amount of people that are in the boat, conditions, etc. I don't think you're going to see those types of speeds with a lot of people in the boat, but that's what they had mentioned to us, was 53 miles an hour with one person in that boat, which is pretty impressive. Coupled with how well it handles, very impressive boat. So overall, I did like the 18-footer. Like I said, quite a bit of room inside of that boat, and it was comfortable to go and ride, and it did take the waves pretty well considering the conditions that we were in. Moving along to the 21-foot cruise. This is my favorite boat by far. We had 7 people in that boat with us, and we got it going 36 miles an hour. This boat also had the double bimini on it as well, so whether that factors into this top speed or not, I can't tell you, but 36 miles an hour, 21 foot, 230 horsepower, 7 people in the boat. And also I was super impressed with how well the brakes work on a boat that size. Cruising right along and just grab that brake, and that boat definitely slows down quite a bit and really quickly. You'll be surprised with it. For those of you who haven't experienced the brake before in either a watercraft or now a boat, you'll be impressed. So a couple other things that I want to talk about. Handlebars. Everybody's asking us about the handlebars, and they think that it should have a steering wheel like a conventional boat goes. Let me tell you this, after driving it, the handlebars feel very natural to us. Keep in mind, being in power sports, you have handlebars on snowmobiles, you have handlebars on four-wheelers, you have them on the Spyders. So it felt very, very natural. And one thing that I'll tell you is this, the maneuverability of these pontoon boats in and around the dock is like nothing I've ever seen before. And what I mean by that is the reaction time. You know, a typical pontoon kind of, it sweeps as you're turning. This boat here, even though it's a pontoon, it handles more and turns more like a V-bottom boat, and that's all because of the handlebars, the brake and reverse, and how quickly everything works. Keep in mind, when you're in a regular conventional boat with that steering wheel, in order to get that motor to go to full lock, meaning you turn the wheel all the way to the left till it doesn't turn anymore, or all the way back to the right, it takes several revolutions of the steering wheel to get there. So you have one hand on the throttle, if you will, forward, neutral, and reverse, and then one on the steering wheel. So in order to be able to get the thing to full lock and then forward, back, there's a lot going on, a lot of moving pieces where you can definitely overcorrect one way or the other. With the handlebars, like I said, everything's at your fingertips. On the right-hand side, you have your throttle. That's going to control you, obviously, your speed in getting into forward. On the left-hand side, you're going to have neutral and reverse. And to go lock to lock with the bars, it's literally, you know, maybe a quarter turn either way. So maneuverability on these things is like, it's unlike any other boat that's out there. And I think that the people that are questioning the steering wheel versus the handlebar thing, if you go into it with an open mind and try this boat out with the handlebars, you're going to be impressed with it. And I think you'd choose that setup, especially in a tight spot where you're trying to dock. If it's windy out, you're really going to like how this boat, not only, you know, how quick it is as far as maneuverability, but how easy it is to get in and out of tight places. So don't knock those handlebars quite yet until you try them. Just basically go into it with an open mind. Moving along to some of the accessories. In the 21-footer, we had, you know, the JL audio system, the premium audio system. It's all Bluetooth. I was very, very impressed with the sound quality that came out of it. It is a little bit expensive, you know, coming in right around, you know, $4,000. But I would say most people that are going out on the boats, they definitely want some sort of sound out there, and the quality out of that JL system is definitely worth it. You know, definitely take a look and maybe consider it if you're a music lover especially. Also, the double bimini top, it provided a lot of extra coverage on the boat. So if you have maybe young ones on board that you don't necessarily want to be in the sun directly, consider that double bimini top. You can go at full speed with that top up. It folds down really, really nice as well. It's super easy to work. So definitely consider that if you have people that maybe can't be in the sun, or you just don't like the sun as much, and it gets you out of the sun on a hot summer day. Anchor storage. There's a dedicated storage spot right up in the front to be able to put your anchor. You buy the BRP anchor there, and it's going to fit in there nice and tight. It's not going to be bouncing around. That's one thing with this Sea-Doo Switch, where it's so versatile with their accessories. They've done a great job. So we don't have a lot of stuff necessarily sitting on the deck. It has a dedicated spot, whether it's in a storage bin, maybe it's on a rail to attach things to, or the swim platform if your boat's equipped. The swim platforms have link accessories, link attachment points, so you can put a link accessory on there, whether it's an extra fuel can, whether it's a cooler. They've thought of everything. Also a wakeboard holder. You want to bring a wakeboard. They've got a wakeboard holder that attaches right to the rail, which I really, really like. They get an inflatable holder that attaches to the back. So that way there, these pieces aren't on the floor taking up deck space. So definitely really, really like those features and accessories. Keep in mind that these prices that you're going to see, they include a trailer. No pontoon boat out there includes a trailer in the price. So this here is another great feature, a great selling point. You don't have to spend the extra money on a trailer. This boat here is going to come with it. I also want to say a couple things that maybe cons about this boat is, as of right now today, there is no side entry to the boat. Like most pontoons have. You're either going to have to enter it from the bow or the stern. I think that's something that's probably going to be changed here in the future, hopefully maybe for next year, but that's one thing I'm just going to be honest about with my review here. I think they missed the boat on that, no pun intended. Also, as of right now, there is no porta potty feature. Again, maybe something that they look at in the future. When you are spinning these boats around, I talked about the 13 and the 16 footer especially, they will spin around pretty quickly. If you're used to a Sea-Doo doing a 360 and it jumping back up out of the water and going, these don't do that. They take a little bit of time after you spin it around to get back up and get going again. If any of you have driven go-karts and raced go-karts at a track, I can basically tell you it's similar to when you get the rear of the cart to slide around, it kind of bogs the engine down and then it gets going again. Very similar to what these boats do. But again, very, very fun to drive overall. We've also seen some questions on some of the videos we posted already regarding fuel economy. Right now, these boats here have a 29-gallon fuel tank, and you're going to go either between 3 gallons and 6 gallons of fuel an hour, depending on the boat, the engine, and all, in how many people you have inside, etc., and how much it's weighed down. So those are some rough numbers, but it gives you an idea of what to expect. So I want to say that's pretty much it. As far as my review on it, overall, I'll tell you that I like the boat an awful lot. I think this is going to be a great thing for people that are trying to get into the pontoon boat industry. I will say that if you were to compare a competitive pontoon boat, a conventional pontoon boat, accessories for accessories, engine for engine, you're going to be much cheaper when you get into a Sea-Doo Switch, and that's going to be able to bring a lot of new people to this sport as well. The other thing, talking about the Sea-Doo Switch, is the affordability, the fun. You can tow it, behind almost any vehicle, really. So overall, I really, really like this boat. If you're looking for a super high-end pontoon boat, I don't think that this boat is necessarily for you. This boat really is more geared for the fun factor, and Sea-Doo is really, they're all about fun. Don't get me wrong. The materials that this boat is made out of, from the Polytech hull to the interior, it's all high quality stuff. It really is. But if you're looking for that next level high-end pontoon boat, the Sea-Doo Switch probably isn't for you, at least this year. Now, maybe in years to come, maybe that changes a little bit, but as of right now, that's the way it is. And I will touch on the ability to configure this boat in multiple different configurations, moving the seats around. If you want to take the seats out of the bow and have that bow completely wide open for fishing or anything else that you may be doing, the way that you configure this boat and the ease of configuring this boat is second to none. So basically you can transform that boat into anything you want it to do, from fishing to water sports to just a day out cruising around on the lake. So again, I really think this boat's going to do well. I appreciate you taking the time to watch our video. If you have any questions, drop a comment below or give us a call at 207-324-5502. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and also hit that little alert bell there, and that way there you get notifications when we come out with more videos in the future. Have a great day.